Good morning, everybody. I think I'm just going to keep saying this at the beginning of every podcast episode because the fact that I say it and it's the middle of the evening right now when I'm recording this, it's great. It's amazing. Anyways, welcome back to a Tall Girls podcast or ATG podcast with your host, India, where I'm basically going to be talking about everything tall. So today I'm going to just give a brief overview on what it was like growing up tall, and the struggle was real with a capital R, okay? So honestly, believe it or not, I did not even realize that I was taller than average, I should say. I didn't even realize I was taller than average for my age, probably until I was 7 or 8 years old, Because when we're younger, when we're kids, we don't really care about, I don't want to say superficial stuff, but we don't care about height or looks or clothes or anything like that. When we're hanging out with other people, if we like their personality, we're going to hang out with them. We're not going to judge them based off of anything. But it wasn't until we got older that I started realizing it, and a lot of people started judging me and making fun of me because of that, because of my height. So it probably wasn't until 3rd grade when I realized that I was taller than average. So I think when I first realized it, you know how when they line you up in height order, and the shortest is in the front, obviously, and the tallest is in the back. I was always in the back with the boys. And I never understood it at first because I'm like, why are they putting me around all these boys? They're outrageous. They're screaming. They're cackling. Like, I cannot be around this energy. But it was because I was around their height. And honestly, I wasn't complaining too much about that, because even though I was in the back of the line or in the back of the crowd, like, you know how you guys watch movies when you're kids in school and they put the shorter people in the front so they could see the taller people in the back. Like, I was never really complaining because I could see over everybody's heads. So as long as I could see over everybody's heads, it wasn't a big deal. And then I started noticing that people were making fun of me. Like, haha, how's the weather up there? And all those stupid jokes that I still hate to this day. And making fun of my clothes, because when I was younger, I would have to shop at the women's section of JCPenney. JCPenney. Can you imagine a 9-year-old in the women's section of JCPenney? It was horrendous. I mean, there's nothing wrong with shopping at JCPenney. It's a great store. I still shop there to this day. But my sense of style back then, it was not working out. And I'm going to discuss that in later episodes. My sense of style growing up and what it was like shopping as a tall person when I was younger, because it was honestly so difficult, because nothing would fit my long limbs. You know how people, like girls my age back then, would just go to Justice and get like the sparkliest things. Anything that had glitter on it, they wore it. Bright pink, bright blue, bright orange, bright anything, they would wear it. But I can't go in there and buy it and wear it because it's too short for me. A regular top on them could literally be a crop top on me. The long sleeves would never reach my wrists. And we don't even talk about the pants. I looked like I was wearing capris. And capris on a growing girl, capris on me as a growing girl, it was not a good look. Anyways, I'm not bashing Justice. I'm not bashing JCPenney or anything. But the struggle was real. It was real. It was not a good look for me back then. But I'll discuss that in later episodes. But honestly, there was constant bullying growing up, and I low-key became a bully because of it. I just didn't want to take anybody's talk. I'm just gonna say talk, bash. I think bash is a good word. I did not want to take anybody's bash anymore. So just I don't want to say started threatening people because that sounds really bad, like, a 10-year-old going around like threatening people. But trust me, I started becoming a mean person just so I can deflect a lot of the bullying. Because, if you're mean first, they're not going to automatically be mean back. Because, like, whoa, because a lot of people are also intimidated by my height. So I think adding the mean aspect to it kind of washed away, got rid of much of the bullying. But yeah, the remarks and the looks were definitely still there. And every time I go anywhere with my parents, people always ask me, oh, where does your daughter go to college? And I'm sitting here like, I'm 10 years old and you think that I go to college? What? That's insane. I got that so many times. I don't think it was until I reached high school, the end, not even the beginning, the end of high school, when people started getting my age right. But when I was younger, many people thought I was going to college when I was like 9 years old, 11 years old. I was going for my graduate degree. I mean, I guess it makes sense because, when they see a taller person, they automatically think that they're older because I had the face of a baby. I did not look like a grown woman at all. But there was a lot of people guessing my age, thinking I was significantly older than I was. And it was also a lot of being compared to a boy because, none of the girls were really as tall as me. And I grew up an athlete. I'll get into that in later episodes as well. But I grew up an athlete. So I had an athletic build. And I did not, this was before I hit puberty. Let me put that out there. This was before I hit puberty. So I had the body of a teenage boy. So yeah, there was a lot of comparison to a boy. And honestly, as of now, I don't see anything wrong with that because my body just looks that way and that's how it's gonna be, But back then it really annoyed the crap out of me. It did. But honestly, I could say my life now is so much different. Should I say my social life? I don't know, the aspects that I just discussed, they're so much more different now than they were back then, and I'm super grateful for that because I'm telling you, the level of annoyance just kept getting higher and higher the older I got. But I'll go deeper into what the tall life is like now in my next episode. So I'm gonna end it here. Thank you so much for listening. If you got this far, check out my Instagram for updates and new episodes and stuff like that. It's atgp.oddcast. I'm gonna link it down below because honestly the username still confuses me to this day. Yeah, so I will see you in the next one. Good night and goodbye.